Well, hello, my name is Claire White and I work on the Microsoft Education team here in Australia. I hope you're enjoying EduTech so far and I'd like to welcome you to our Windows Device Partner Showcase. In this session, we'll be hearing from Carl Seidel, who is the Market Development Manager, Commercial Notebooks from HP, as well as Mark Fenson, Business and Mobility Systems Evangelist, as they share with us their hero devices for education, how these devices can support hybrid, blended and personalised learning, and how they make it easier for IT departments to manage and deploy those devices. Please enjoy this session.
Hi everyone, my name is Mark Fenson from HP, here today to chat to you about our hero devices and the new way of learning. I'm joined today with Carl from HP, that is our product manager for our commercial notebooks. Hey Carl, how you doing, mate?
Hi Mark, hi all. Happy 2021 here in lockdown.
Yep, the new way of learning. I've got two kids at the moment, so I've been running around doing IT tech support and learning assistance. How are you doing with it, Carl?
Lock down the router. I control all the bandwidth. The Zoom calls for them are at a minimal, the maximum for me to keep me productive here at HP.
Excellent. It's good that we've got the power at our fingertips now. Just to give you an insight to what I've got two kids on Teams and a partner doing a virtual gym workout upstairs. So I'm pretty lucky I've got a bit of space here. So as you can see, I'm in my lounge room, but it is one of those things where it's now the new way of learning to learn, work wherever you can, whenever you can. And it's a crazy new world that we're now living in. Carl, it is a crazy world, but I know we've got some pretty cool devices coming out. What would you say would be your key number one device for 2021 with education that's running forward this year?
For education, I think it's got to be the 435. It was the top of the line product for 2020. It covers X360, touch, inking. It's that use anywhere device, whatever the surface, however your office, your schoolroom, however your kids are learning today. We're very, very mindful that kids could be learning in a study, in an office, at the kitchen bench, right next to you, or in the classroom when we finally get back to that. But if I was to go with a heavy hitter, it'd absolutely be the AMD powered 435.
Mate, I have to say, I have been showing this around quite a bit and schools just love it. One thing that I really love about it is, again, as you said, the 360, but this little hole here. It is wonders for kids to be able to educate and be able to use a front-facing camera and still hold it like a tablet, but still have the flexibility to have a webcam here for Zoom calls, team calls, whatever you're doing. So it does give you that full level of productivity. How do you think the AMD Ryzen processor goes in comparison to some other things? I know people sort of have that, it's an AMD, it's an Intel kind of conversation. What have you heard out there in the schools about the AMD processors?
The feedback has been overwhelming that they feel that they're getting a bit more bang for buck. It really comes down to, you're expecting maybe an i5, an R5 kind of combination as the school product of choice. People are finding that they're getting great performance out of the R3. At the same time too, financially, they're then looking at their spend and saying, it's well priced, it's giving me everything I want. Maybe I'll upgrade the RAM. Maybe I'll ensure that we go to 16 gig of RAM as a standard rather than 8. Or if need be, maybe even looking at an R5 or R7 processor. So there's a little bit for everything in there. And we've found that it was being perceived really, really well in the value for money stakes.
And that's pretty good because that will give them a longer life cycle of their products in the future. So maybe instead of like a 3-year life cycle, this could get through the 4 or 5-year life cycle. And what I really like is I'm not having to carry around a bag full of adapters as well. I've still got a full-size HDMI, USB port. I can lock it down, USB-C on and USB on the other side. It gives you that full level of functionality as well for students of any type, whatever type of workflow they were trying to do. I also think this has got some pretty good sustainability in mind as well. So a lot of it is built around recycled content, like the hinge caps are 50% recycled, 75% recycled keyboards. There's a really good sustainability message inside this product as well.
Absolutely. When we talk education, we're talking about the next generation coming through. We want to educate them, but at the same time too, we've got we've got to think of the environment. We've got to think of the footprint that we leave behind, and hopefully in the way that we continue to go down, whether it's recycled aluminium, recycled magnesium, the way that we're dealing with plastics and whatnot, that sustainability message goes well and truly beyond education, but should hopefully mean that there is less HP there to be recycled in the future, and it's something that we're really, really proud of.
And a good thing is it's using recycled content, and at the end of the life cycle, it doesn't go into landfill. You can recycle this again, and a good proportion of this can all go back into new products and have that recycled ecosystem. What I also like is the security of this as well, because you're starting to get some of those premium security features come down, like the Sure Start, Sure Click, and Sure Sense type of productivity. But you then have that, because it's great to lock down your schools, but when kids come home, they're now behind consumer routers and their own sort of security. So they do have that extra level of security at home or in the campus, wherever they need to be.
And Mark, if your kids are anything like mine, I think it's school for this period of the day, and then it may be something else, and it's YouTube and it's gaming. There's a little bit more and more to it. So yeah, we'd love to say that you've got full control of it, but absolutely that security suite needs to be there. The best thing about the HP security suite is we develop something today, we put it into our high-end, top-of-the-line product. But as the years evolve, that product then gets passed down from generation to generation. So the CEOs, the high-level execs in the corporate world that are using a top-of-the-line HP laptop of 2 years ago probably got very, very similar technology in the product that you're holding right there in your hand now that we're giving to our kids.
Absolutely. And it prepares them for the future, is that classroom of the future, that campus of the future, and then moves into that workplace of the future. And that gives them a good steady in life that they're going to be using these same products when they go into their business careers, whatever they plan to do in the future. So yeah, I'm going to touch on that nasty sort of situation we are in at the moment. Supply, sometimes we just can't get this. What would be your next go-to product in the education space if you can't get this product?
Yeah, look, it's everything, Mark. It's not only laptops that you go shopping online. You're looking at cars. You're looking at white goods. Everywhere you turn, we're struggling with supply. Due to borders being closed, freight lines being shut down or working to a minimal. So, look, if that's the product of choice, that was our heavy hitter for last year. It will be again this year. But I think the big brother is the one that you need to be looking at. That's the 830 X360. So you go out of the ProBook range of products in our 400 series, you move up into the Intel powered i5, i7 opportunity there with the same sort of inking touch X360 platform that you're getting out of the 400 series. So that 830 Elite book, and it steps up. It steps up not only in terms of the sustainability message that you spoke to earlier, it also speaks to a lot more security. It speaks to the security message too. And the Elite book product have our best-in-class security features throughout.
Yeah, it is that we do go from, and you see it, they look very similar. You'd see a different logo though. You go from our round logo to our premium logo with the HP stripes, but it really does, you can feel the difference with the product. It's a fully aluminium product, but as you said, it's what's inside that really drives it. It looks very similar, but I'm now getting things like 11th gen processors, Thunderbolt 4, USB 4. You really are future-proofing this with all those Intel technologies that are now coming out. Again, you then move into that full suite of security products, and you've got a very good 360 product that is exactly what people are using in that commercial space now. That I know people in our own offices use this product as their go-to device every day. I also like you've still got the same fingerprint. It's still the same look and feel as everything else that you'd see in that 400 series, but just that extra cream on the top, as you'd say.
Yeah, the innovation comes into our EliteBook range of products. Obviously, R&D from any company comes in at the top end of town. There's a premium for the years and years worth of research, whether it's in terms of the keyboard technology, that much softer. When we get back to 20, 30 kids in a classroom or belting away at a keyboard, you want something that's got a really, really nice soft touch to it. You want a screen like the anti-glare screen that you've got there that's going to be really, really easy on the eyes, particularly under fluorescent light. And then, as you said, all the ports, all the features, all the connectivity there at your fingertips. That means that you, as a parent, not going out and buying a whole series of adapters that you know are going to get lost at the bottom of a school bag, or dropped or squashed with last week's lunch, as it so happens in my house.
Yeah. And kids, we know they throw the notebook in the bag, and then they throw that bag across the court to go and play handball, basketball, whatever the sport is at the time. These things are really rugged, built to last, drop tested, military grade specs. These things are really ruggedized in what you do. And even to the hinge, it's really good. When you touched on that non-reflective screen, I found it when I was showing the 400 series. You could see the reflection of you in the screen. This, you can't even see that reflection. That matte finish really does reduce that reflective glare that you'd have. And I'm guessing that's really good if the student's using this outdoors, they're running around and they're working in the courtyard or somewhere else outside the school. This still gives a great connectivity and great outdoor experience as well.
Yeah, and I think as parents, we're also mindful of the amount of time that our kids are spending on devices. You know, screen time is sort of the go-to word amongst parents. So you want to make sure that when your kids are sitting there, that they're not straining on their eyes, or they're not having to deal with reflections and other bits and pieces. Again, where are they working? Is their classroom the same as their bedroom where they're working now? Is it the same as the kitchen table where they're working now? So light's going to be different. To have those kind of screens is an absolute necessity in this day of office and classroom of the future.
Exactly that. I just today I had one in the kitchen, one in the lounge room, and myself here in my study, which they normally sit next to me. Which, when you start trying to get everyone collaborating all at the same time, you need to have that space to be able to freely move anywhere around the house, even to the garage if you need be it. I know in setting up this call, you were moving around the house yourself, so you need that luxury and flexibility of connected, easy collaboration anywhere throughout the house. And that's probably where these devices really excel. Another good option is, I love how both have pen, touch, 360. I'm still able to go in and start doing annotation, note-taking, drawing with very quick ease across that whole Windows platform.
Yeah, the Windows inking piece is absolutely essential. I think for a period of time, we felt that kids were falling behind if their words per minute wasn't really on the up. But at the same time, too, the beauty of that X360 device is you can go beyond the classroom. You can go into the artistic side of things. I know watching the way that my kids interact with their devices, it can be things from timber tech or woodwork as we know it, art, the ability to be able to even practice cursive handwriting for the younger generation. It's great to have those features that not necessarily are seen in a classroom. You can do all this virtually and share it with your teachers online.
And that auto correction as well allows them to enhance their cursive as well. So if Windows isn't recognizing it, your writing probably is pretty bad. So if this gives that auto correction straight into text. So if Windows isn't recognizing, you're in trouble with your writing.
And the pens have evolved. The pens have evolved. Like, if you have a look at both the pens that go with that device, the touch and feel almost mirrors a pencil in that way. Your ability to be able to tip and to tilt. That covers everything from not only your handwriting to also your drawing, your design, the creativity side of things, which you absolutely want to support in our kids.
And I do like the fact that the Elite pen does come with USB-C charging, so I can use the same charger or a small little connector just to connect and charge it. And I think something like 30 minutes gives you 15 hours of use, which gives you that really able to stay productive for a full day's work whenever. And half an hour charge gets you back up and running pretty quickly. I also like the 800 series because it's actually sanitizable as well, so you can wipe the device down when you go back into that classroom experience.
Yeah, that's important. It's something that I think we didn't really think of in years gone by, but something that's essential right now. The amount of times that you go out, pumping the little pan of hand sanitizer, I think this is going to be part of our classroom as well. You need to make sure that the kids aren't bringing those germs and bugs into it. And if they are, they're kids, let's face it, the ability to be able to wipe it down and ensure that you aren't damaging the beautiful finish on the top, the keys that are on it. It's something that only HP can do.
I did have a customer say that I was too late in my presentation to him one day because he'd actually wiped off all his keys by wiping it down every day as he left the office. So he couldn't see any keys on his keyboard because his competitive product wouldn't allow that. And this is where, and again, this comes really to a point where kids share devices. It's not, every child does not have one device per child type of environment. So when you're passing back and forth, or it's in the school environment being handed around, at the end of the day or the end of the lesson, it is good that you can clean it down, wipe it down, and pass it on, knowing that you've had that level of sanitization after each use. What I also like about this is we really up the sanit as well when we start going into 50% recycled material. We even use ocean-bound plastics in this device as well.
Yeah, the sustainability message on the 400 series is great, but as I mentioned before, the R&D comes in at the top end of town. So even from that CNC grade aluminium chassis, the way that that's built, the story to how that's got there, how many times has that notebook that's in your hand been around this world already? Recycled, recycled, recycled. It's speaking the positive message to the next generation, and it's something that we need to hold true and dear to us, just to keep us honest. I think in the market, that not only we're providing the product for the future, but we're also looking after the environment well and truly after we're gone.
Absolutely. When you say you're a printer and a PC manufacturer, you do get that look of, hey, you're ruining the environment. But when you start seeing the messages going into our ink and toner recycling, plus our devices, it really is a great message. And it's one of those things that we're using recycled content and then it's able to be recycled again. And you're not just going that one-time use and it ends up in landfill. Everything gets recycled. So it's a really great message, and that's not just great for the students, it's not just great for the teachers, but it's for the parents and the community that a lot of schools do need to work with to show that they are being sustainable in the current climate. Carl, one of the other things I really like about the 830 is the AI-based noise suppression. I think it's a really good way, because as we've spoken about, kids are collaborating in everywhere. And I really love this video we're about to show, that it really shows us off to a really good standpoint of how good the noise cancellation and suppression in this is starting to become. And Carl, I think it's now becoming a way that we need to start focusing on modern device deployment and getting the device to the user as quickly as possible. How can we help that out with the education environment?
Oh, we've got to look after the IT guys that are out there. We realised that a lot of them, particularly when COVID struck, were under the pump to very, very quickly get devices in the hands of students all over the country. People aren't all necessarily living together. So you've got a point where, product like Windows Autopilot, Intune are there. Now, our devices, whether it's working with a Windows Pro license, the MSNA Shape the Future license, that they're built there to be able to help with the easy deployment of massive amounts of fleet. Using Windows Autopilot and Intune is an absolute essential to save time, in terms ease of use, to get those IT guys to be able to deploy product to the masses quickly, simply, and effectively as well.
And whenever, wherever type of environment. And it allows IT to do other things, not just break fix or be sitting there trying to distribute a whole bunch of notebooks out to the masses, because not everyone's in a classroom anymore. They're distributed across the country, as you said. And we do offer a whole heap of other services that can help schools get the devices in the hands of the people that actually need it. Plus, you always have those care packs to allow for accidental damage protection, because we do know students love to throw their devices in the bag and then throw the bag across the court. So whatever you need, HP has a way. Hey, Carl, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking time out of the day to have a chat with me about this. Everyone, hopefully you're enjoying your virtual EduTech. Please look for more videos from Microsoft, but from HP, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this Windows Device Partner Showcase. I hope you enjoyed hearing from our device partners and found this useful for your school. Make sure you visit our virtual booth for more info or to connect with us. And please enjoy the rest of EduTech. Bye!